Right then, hello. It is episode 24 of The World According to Ali. A little bit late. I was getting busy at the weekend with like mud and stuff. So it's Wednesday the 29th of June. Oh, what was that? Yeah. Sorry I'm late. You know, things happen when you run 26 miles of obstacles and hills and stuff. Listen to me make excuses, it's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, on to the questions. So, question one from David Braithwaite. Okay, if you were to pick one and one only exercise purely for overall body strength training, what would it be and why? Now, this is actually an interesting question because I imagine a lot of people, you know, they say, for example, deadlift or they say squat, and I sort of ummed and ahed about it, and I thought, yeah, you know, and then I got it. Ha! Kind of a way to fool everyone, right? Not really, but yeah. Log lifting. Okay, so whereas this is me like playing with the rules a little bit here, because you could say clean and press, but that's two exercises, isn't it? Whereas a log lift is one, isn't it, from the floor? So I've cheated a little bit, but in all seriousness, with the log lift, you get, for you people like, you know, on the PT course, this is good for you as well, right? So the pick up off of the floor is obviously similar to a deadlift motion. So you get hip, use, hamstring use, upper back use, forearm use, you know, and then pulling it into the hip obviously uses the biceps, the upper back, the traps, the lats, so on and so forth, you know. Because you have to sit quite low when you pull the log onto the lap, you get a lot of joint angle, which is great for coordination and strength, because strength is only relevant to the joint angle used. Then obviously when you drive the hips through and roll it up to the chest, you get a lot of abdominal action, a lot of lower back action, a lot of middle back action, a lot of hip and hamstring use again, as well as obviously muscle usage of the shoulders, adducting the arms. I'm probably going to get told off for using all these technical terms, but whatever, it's helpful. And then from the shoulders, obviously, it's a press overhead. But whereas a normal press overhead would be almost more pure shoulder use, the log is out in front, so you get more of your pectoral use. Okay, so your chest muscles get more work with a log, as well as your shoulders, your upper back, your triceps. So, you know, and also with the leg drive on a log as well, your quads are getting use, your calves are getting use. So, you know, purely for overall body strength training, a log lift hits probably more actual prime moving muscles than anything else that I can think of. So there you go. One exercise. I've actually answered a question properly. You know, I could have skirted around this, and I probably have, like, you know, broke the rules a little bit, but, you know, whatever. A log from floor to overhead, that's one exercise. So, yeah. Go me, good answer. Quite pleased about that. Right then, question 2 from PJ Gentle. Why do some of us sweat much more than others when we do kettlebells or circuits? I used to put it down to being overweight and unfit, but I am no longer overweight and I'm a lot fitter than I used to be, but now sweat more than I used to. This is a good question. And there's a few components to it. I like this question a lot. And not just because I like sweaty women. Alright? So, basically what you've got, first things first, okay, is when you exercise, you use energy, right? Now, one of the things that happens is you have stored energy in your body, okay, calories, right? And those stored calories, in whatever form they are stored, okay, gets converted into energy for movement, okay, and producing the movement that we, exercise with, whatever that may be. Now, there is a byproduct to that, which is heat, okay? So the more calories that we burn, the more heat that is produced as a byproduct. So one of the things that's really interesting is, like, people that are overweight tend to sweat quickly because they actually have a higher metabolism than people who are lighter, which is interesting because people often think overweight people have a slower metabolism, and they don't. So people that are heavier will burn more calories than someone who is lighter. Hence, as a byproduct, they produce more heat when they exercise. It's not just because they're unfit, it's because they're actually producing more heat energy, right? They have a faster metabolism, they burn more calories, and they produce more heat, and therefore they sweat. Okay, but then, like PJ here, used to be overweight, and now she's not. She is not overweight, and she's a lot fitter, right? So why is she now sweating so much? Well, the thing is with the fitness thing, is the fitter you are, the more calories you can burn, again, in the same amount of time. So the fitter you become, okay, the more calories you can burn in the same amount of time. And obviously, as I've just discussed, one of the byproducts of burning calories to turn it into movement energy is the byproduct of heat energy. So the fitter you are, the more calories you can burn in the same amount of time, and the more heat you will produce. Okay? Then that leads on to sort of another part of the question, which a lot of people that train regularly and get fitter and fitter and fitter start to sweat before they've even got warm or put any effort in. Now, why is that? Because surely then, when they're just sort of getting started, they should be cruising or whatever, and not really, doing much. And the reason for that is because of the body's efficiency. Now, if the body knows that you're a regular exerciser, it's something that it's used to this change in temperature caused by the burning of calories for movement, then as soon as the body gets an indicator, oh, we think there's going to be a rise in temperature real soon, it'll activate the body's cooling system, which is sweating, before it needs to. And that's part of the efficiency aspect of the body, because the body doesn't operate as well when it's overheating, right? So it just turns on the cooling system ahead of time because it knows what's going to happen, which then stops you overheating, which makes you more efficient at exercise. Okay? So I really like that question because it's a really interesting one to do with energy systems and, fuel and, the byproducts and, the energy, the systems of the body and efficiency. So that's a really good question, and I hope that was interesting, because it was interesting for me to answer. Right, I'm only doing 2 questions because that's what I want to be bothered with. Bye!